All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us for our first YouTube exclusive live stream. So I had a little bit of a technical issue starting out. I didn't have the right stream key in because I did switch over from streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time to exclusively streaming on YouTube, and so the stream key didn't work right away. But we are live now. We should be good to go. And then so we are going to go ahead and kick it off. So the deck that we are running today. Hey me, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you everyone who jumped in and is joining us today for our lunch live stream. And then, hey Christy, hey Alex, how's it going? And I do actually now get to enjoy the emojis. So in all of the other ones with Restream, the way that the chat was set up, I didn't actually get to see any of the cool emojis, and so I just saw like the text associated with them. But now I get to see them, so I am excited about that. So today we are going to be running some Ultron. Now I don't think this deck is as good as the Omega Red deck that we ran the other day, but it does have some pretty good power push, some pretty good potential, especially with the featured location being Project Pegasus. And so we are going to go ahead and jump in. I will switch the view over. I will get better at remembering to do that. We are at a 0 cube loss. Yesterday we had a pretty good stream. We gained 21 cubes through the whole thing. And then Pilk, yeah, I saw that you pulled Mystique. That's really exciting. You pulled it. You're pretty far into the collection already, but at least you didn't pull it dead last. But I know that that's going to help you with your Mystique deck quite a bit. And then hey Nick, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. And then Christy, so Sakar pulled in there. Angela pulled in our Dr. Doom, which is pretty decent for us. But we will still need to draw into like our Patriots, some ways to buff them up further. I don't know that we even want to drop Wong. I mean we hit Project Pegasus, but there's no reason for us to drop Ultron just yet. So I think we're going to do Wong, and then I'll go ahead and do a Misty Knight. There's no harm in dropping it into the far right lane right now. I have 20 Pilk. For some reason I thought you were quite a bit further than that. So you have 29 cards left to pull. I mean, it's deep in the pool, but for some reason I thought you were really, really close.
I am Ego.
Oh no.
This is my
Oh no, Ego, what are you doing? We're gonna snap. No. Okay, so we're gonna start the stream off with a -8 cube for sure. With Ego taking over our Mystique play. Yeah, Christy, I always like to snap on Ego, just because it's so random. And odds are, it plays so inoptimally. And then snap for the content. Ooh, and so they played a rogue to try and steal an ongoing ability that was not there. Yeah, best way. Hey, at least they played Forge into Sakar with the Wong. I got to give them credit for that one. Double snap Ego to start the day off, and we're going to commit all the way to the end. Whether we win or lose, we are going to commit and see how it goes. How is the stream quality, everyone? Compared to, for those of you that have been into quite a few of them, compared to when we were streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, does it look kind of similar? Is it a little bit less laggy, or is it pretty comparable? You'll win. Who is the biggest of brains? No, why are you playing White Tiger into Limbo? You could get double Tiger tokens. A 7-turn Ego match, but we're gonna fill up our board. Oh, okay. We're committed at this point. We are dedicated. You have to believe in Ego. He has a plan. The plan may not always be obvious, but he has a plan. You just have to trust in the process. And here comes the Ultron. I mean, right now we're ahead. So they've dropped some of their bigger units. So Shang-Chi, they've dropped Rogue. They're not going to be able to do anything crazy. Here comes the White Tiger. So they will win the ego lane unless we can get like a Patriot. But then it will probably play Onslaught still, right? Yeah. Ego knows best. Ego is taking over the stream now, guys. So we're gonna let it play out. Akaichu, no, you're not too late. We've only been live. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know how to tell on just the YouTube stream. It looks like about 5 minutes. So you're definitely not too late. You're still pretty early on. So then they play a Mr. Negative, which it wins them Sakar. Ego, your plan was not foolproof. Beard's looking good. Keep it growing. I've actually been thinking about shaving it. I just haven't got around to it yet. I usually don't let it grow this long. And so I don't know. Maybe I keep it for a little while. Ego doesn't know how to read. He tries his best. Ego tries his best. Maybe they needed 8 cubes to push them up to infinite. Alex, good quality, or quality is good. By the way, I took a break from the game this month, but I'm back. Hey, welcome back, Alex. I have noticed that I haven't seen any like deck recommendations or anything for a little bit, but it's good to know that that you are back and you're still here. Sometimes you do need a break, especially we haven't really had any patch updates or any content updates since the start of this season, and so not a whole lot has changed. You haven't missed out on a whole bunch. Except for if you haven't caught up on like what's popular in the meta, negative serotonin, which is like a Sarah swarm deck with a negative component to it, is all over the ladder right now. I just watched your video with the swarm dad joke. Oh, my dad jokes, they're so bad, but I find them so funny. And even, usually not everyone else does. But I'm glad that I've found an audience that that at least somewhat enjoys them. So I think we are going to do both the Patriot and Mystique here. That way we at least buff up our tokens. Our Savage Land Raptors will be pretty decent sized. I don't know that we need to extend the game with Magic here. And so we're just going to do the double Patriot and then the token on the left-hand side. You should see my latest deck suggestion in the Discord. Oh, is it good or bad, Pilk? No, it's a good look. Okay, maybe I keep it a little bit longer. And just see how it goes. I know that it gets unruly at times, and so they do have Mr. Negative. So it's gonna be a hard fought battle regardless. But we have the upside that at least they don't have a lot of cards to buff with their Devil Dino further. I mean, I guess that's an upside. We have the Wasp. I don't know that we want to do Wong this turn since we already have the Patriot Mystique combo going. Clarice looks so sad. Is she? Oh, look, can you see her? Can you see her out the window? She has her head leaned on she's looking out the window. She longs to be outside, but whenever we let her outside unattended, she's a runner. She's a rescue dog, and so she has that like prisoner mentality that she gets outside and she just wants to jet. I hope she's not sad. I'll give her some attention after the stream though. So maybe we should have done our Wong. And then it's the ultimate cube crush deck though. So like crush our cubes is in like donate them, Pilk. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm curious what it is now. Maybe we should have done the Wong. We may have made the Wong decision. We can do Wong. We can do White Tiger next turn. Is that better than pushing out? Was it 5 power here, 5 power bots here and here? I don't know that it's worth it at this point. Maybe we just do one White Tiger mid. Next turn we'll do Ultron mid to finish it off. It's called Zero, bro. I need to see it. I'm curious. You've piqued my interest, Pilk. Going Wong is never wrong. I don't know. Wong has let me down a couple of times. I don't think we win this one. We're going to have to really heavily rely on this left lane, but they could easily have an inverted Mystique. We're already negative. We'll go ahead and go -10 just for a good even round start to the stream. But I do think that we end up losing this one. Depending on where they drop the resource. Ooh, no, they extend the game. Oh no. And so, thank you everyone for jumping in and joining us for the lunch live stream, by the way. We did stop. We are trying out not streaming on Twitch at the same time, just to see if that like increases overall quality. Ooh, and then we draw onslaught. Overall quality, if it makes the viewer experience just a little bit better. So they go ahead and snap. They could very easily. Well, they can't Mystique the Iron Man anymore. What big power pushes do they have? They have the Devil Dino, so it's not a Sarah. It's not a Sarah deck. Maybe they have a Ronin. Yeah, it's worth it, I think, to risk one extra cube. I'm not gonna risk 4 extra or 3 extra cubes. So we'll go ahead and retreat. We started out the stream strong. If you guys are just joining us, the stream started out with an 8-cube ego match that did not swing in our favor. Jesus. Project Pegasus is so good. The possibilities are endless. Yeah, Jesus, I actually wanted to do a junk deck, so another like send 'em crap style deck, but we've covered it recently. It was good in the last the hot location, and so I didn't want to touch on that again, and it's been a while since we've done Ultron, but I really did want to do a junk deck yesterday, and I actually played around with one for a little while. Something that just, because then you can run your goblins, you can run the Doc Ock, your debris, you can even do a little bit of extra high rolling from the Project Pegasus lane. Aaron, I just played you. My username is Vasu. Yeah, that was a very good game. The early Mr. Negative was just too strong. We didn't have the resources in hand, and that magic extension really kind of set it home for us. So we are going to start with our onslaught with the Project Pegasus. That allows us to potentially hit our highest high roll with the deck if we draw into our... Ooh, and they have a Mr. Negative. But with Angela, it looks like a Sarah, like a negative Sarah Swarm. If we can draw into Mystique here... No, my cheat codes are not enabled today. So I think we're going to pass this turn. I don't think it hurts us too much. We do have magic where we can extend the game if we need to. But I do want to give one more shot or one more chance to draw into Mystique here. No, it's not going to happen, is it? I love my hazmat junk deck. I call the deck Mr. Negative. I think I called mine like something like Crappy Day. Something where we're just sending them so much junk. With the early Mr. Negative, I don't know that it's even worth playing this one. Oh man. We would have to get incredibly lucky. We still would have to draw into both Patriot and Mystique. We'll risk it. We're going to go one more turn. We're going to risk it for the extra cube. We're already down. We're already down and out. We might as well go with the gambler mentality. They do use the Jubilee, which double pulls into Kamartage. Hey Akshay, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us for the live stream. So then we get Wong. We can do Wong. That'll do a 4 trigger of Forge. Or maybe we extend the game with Grand Central. That way it's not going to pull one of our cards in unexpectedly. Next turn we could do Wong and then Forge. We could fill up this lane the rest of the way with a pretty stacked Brood. I think it's going to be our only chance. Hey, Paul. Hey again, been busy, so I missed the last few streams. No worries at all. I hope that everything is going well. Sometimes busy is good, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. So I hope that everything is going well, Paul, but I appreciate you jumping in and joining us today.
I am Iron Man.
Joel, are you doing anything fun for the long weekend? So I want to we want to go to the, I mean, it's not most people's idea of fun, but I do want to go to the aquarium. We have a pretty big one near where I'm at, and I haven't taken my daughter to it just yet. I've been to it several years ago, but I haven't taken her to it, and I think she would have an absolute blast. So I'm going to do the Wong for the 4 times trigger of Forge, and then we can see what we draw into next turn. Maybe we do a Brood. No, we won't be able to do both Brood and White Tiger. Cassius, yeah, I think this is a losing game. Ever since they had the Mr. Negative on turn, I think it was turn 2, it definitely looked like a losing game. But we're gonna, I mean, right now there's no risk in pushing it to that turn 7. We're not gonna potentially lose any extra. You live in Eastern time. I live in Central time, so I'm in Texas. So 32, they have a pretty big power push into Limbo because of the Mr. Negative or the Iron Man. Yeah, we're not gonna come back. This is gonna be a 4 times trigger, but that's not gonna be enough. A good can we set a record for not winning a single game during our lunch live stream? That would be the new goal, guys. Juan, any plans on making an updated and viable move deck? The game has been tempting me to try the archetype by giving me variants. So the last one that I did, once I unlocked Dagger, is pretty good. It just needs a little bit of refining. And so I think the archetype is definitely strong. I think it's kind of slept on, honestly. It has a lot of potential, especially if you run an alternate turn 6 play, so you have Heimdall and another like high power play. That way you can kind of take the opponent off guard. They don't know for sure if you're going to move or not. But yeah, no, I can take a look at it. I think we're going to have a patch soon. If not, I'll take a look at it tonight after the feature location goes away. And then Akaichu, any chance you're going to stream Sulky Hulky? Yeah, if that's something that you guys are interested in seeing, I will absolutely, I'll absolutely stream some Sulky Hulky for you guys. We can have a kind of relaxed, chill, low collection level stream. And then Mitchell, good game, that was me. Yeah, we didn't draw into our combo pieces, and the early Mr. Negative was huge. Like, there's really no way to compete with it. Very, very good game, Mitchell. The move deck just gets destroyed by so many locations. It does, but it has advantages in certain ones as well. And then Paul Boxman, I'd love to see a Sulky Hulky stream. Okay, we can start setting something up. I think it'd be really fun to do one. We are gonna go with an onslaught into the Project Pegasus lane since we can't play mid. That'll allow us to follow up with a Mystique, a Patriot, and then start pushing our power. We also have the Doombot, which will be able to push at least 1 token into Death's Domain. Rocks work with Patriot, right? Yeah, yep. So Rocks will get the Patriot buff, and so it will be pretty large. It looks like they're running a Hella deck, so it might be kind of scary. And then I did update the Nightbot's links. So the Discord, well, I guess you guys are all on YouTube now. So the YouTube one feels a little bit unnecessary, but nonetheless, it does work. Akshay, I saw a challenge video today. A guy reached infinite with only the first. Yeah, I saw that. It was Willow, right? Willow has done some crazy challenges already. He did something where he played Agent 13 every game until he pulled and was able to use Galactus. Some really unique takes on the game so far. You can do Sulky Hulky stream on that video day itself. Yeah, maybe I put out a Sulky Hulky video on Monday, depending on what we see. That would close out the season for us, bringing us into the new card where we're going to want to push some TLSG stream or TLSG action. Remember that Brood can spawn. Yeah, Brood can. That's what I was thinking too, Jeremiah. He can spawn 2 minions into Death's Domain. Wong plus Doctor Doom looks like the game, which is a pretty good option too, because that's going to be some pretty big ones. But I am a little bit afraid of their hella power. They have a hell of a lot of power. No, we don't. I don't think we want to do the rock because it's going to send 2. We want to have 1 space. Wasp would be a tiny bit better for us to play there. I reached rank 91. It was 23 and 20 against 21 and 20. Sammy, I may have missed like the first part of that message. But like you were really close with the opponent's power level. Is that what you're saying? So if they draw Hela here, I think it's a wrap. I don't think we can compete with it. The Hela lane is typically something around 15 or 16 power. And then they're going to summon their big cards into the other 2. We're gonna play it out, but I think this is a loss as well. Oh, it is gonna. Oh, you're right, guys. It is gonna do 4. Oh, why did I play Wasp? I forgot about Onslaught, guys. Easy Death's domain win. Yeah, they have some cards that'll be resummoned with Hela, so they could push a lot of power there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so even if we hadn't dropped this, that would be, what, 18 more? Oh, man. We could have won, right? We could have tied this lane. We won this one by 36. It would have came down to the tiebreaker between the 2. Yeah, well... Jeremiah, the Wasp wouldn't have mattered, but the Rock and Wasp would have. If we knew that this was a potential play line early on, we could have pushed just barely enough power to tie this lane, I think. This a real deck or a troll? Apparently, it looks like a troll. So, I don't think it's a troll deck. I think it is a fairly consistent version of a Patriot and Ultron deck. But with that being said, Ultron itself is very dependent on your draw, and so it can have some really good high power swings. It can have some really good droughts as well. So as an archetype as a whole, it's not something that I want to play all the time. It's more of a like I want to play and have some fun, create some crazy interactions. But it's not something I would necessarily climb the ladder with either. Any Ultron deck is a troll. It's not as troll as it could be, though, Jeremiah. It could be a lot worse. But no, you're right to an extent. It's not going to be as consistent as a Mr. Negative, anything really, or even a Sarah Mr. Negative, a large power play Mr. Negative. They're all going to be able to outpower the majority of the games. Not all of them. Sometimes we will get lucky, but for the majority of them, it won't be able to compete. So this one looks like we may get a pretty good high roll. We'll have the Onslaught. We'll be able to copy it with Mystique as long as we can draw into our Patriot. This should be an easy win. And I think it's against a bot Kathy, but we are going to play it out nonetheless. So Zero Bro is a troll deck. It's my best deck suggestion so far, though. Whenever I first saw the Omega Red deck suggestion, I thought it was a little bit of a troll, but it turns out that with the right enablers, so something like Project Pegasus, it can be pretty strong. And so I'm curious. I'm really curious about seeing this Zero Bro deck. I'll check it out as soon as we end the stream. If I had Ultron but no Doctor Doom, I'd use Ultron. Besides, both of them are in here. Just that Doom is a better version of the same type of effect. Yeah, Jeremiah. Overall, he's going to push a higher power level into all of your lanes because he's not. One of the biggest drawbacks of Ultron is that it's location based. You have to play it mid if you want the bots to go left and right. And then Doctor Doom you can always play after. So if for some reason Sakaar pulled into Ultron on turn 1, these lanes it'd be an immediate retreat. There's no like counterplay around it. Versus a Doctor Doom, you can still kind of play in those areas. So there's quite a few drawbacks with Ultron, but I think overall, as far as trying to make a consistent Ultron deck, it's okay. Hopefully we don't go negative 32. Yesterday's stream we went positive 21, so we can go negative 21 and be just fine. So how does Mr. Negative Sarah work? So Joel, it operates on the fact that it doesn't have to absolutely have Mr. Negative to win. A lot of Mr. Negative decks, if you can't drop him by turn 3 or turn 4, you lose out on a lot of power potential. But with Mr. Negative Sarah, and I can pull up the deck list as soon as we get out of this 8-cube game. But with the Mr. Negative Sarah, if you hit it, it's great. It enables some additional power in like your inverted Iron Man. But otherwise, it doesn't harm any cards. It doesn't make it just absolutely insane. It can still push a decent power level regardless. Well, he got the well, he got the Patriot upside. So the Ultron is definitely worth it here. And then Thiago, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us for the lunch live stream. We are going to do the Ultron. It's going to be 17 power pushes in both the left and right lane for each of those tokens, which is massive. And it doesn't happen all that often. This is a particularly high roll style game. Because of the project Pegasus, we were able to copy our Onslaught's ability. But in the largest majority, we're not going to end up having that high of a roll. And so now we have huge drones coming out to swarm the rest of the board, bringing us just a little bit less negative than we were before.
Victory.
It only took 30 minutes. Well, I guess 25 minutes. It only took 25 minutes for us to find a victory. I think that's going to start. That's what we needed to start that upward trend. From here on out, it's going to be nothing but. Wins from here on out. And so the negative serotonin deck list looks like this, Joel. And I won't go through the whole thing. We do have a video on it. But essentially, if the cards get hit with Mr. Negative, it's great. It gives them a little bit of upside, but you can also push high power with your Angela, your Swarm, your Sarah Swarm cards, even if you don't draw into Mr. Negative. So it's really, really powerful. And then if you get the upside of Mr. Negative, you can have an Iron Man, you can copy that with Mystique, and just push some insane power levels. Okay, and so we will jump back in. We're going to keep the wins rolling. I didn't see the power level of the right lane. I have a pretty good idea of what the right lane was, but I don't know for sure. Hey, DaddyGamingNightly, how's it going? Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us for the lunch live stream. So this is our first YouTube exclusive. We're not streaming on Twitch today, so I'm able to see all of the cool emotes. Before, I just saw the text that was associated with them. So now I can see the emotes. I can see all of the different kind of chats coming through, and I think it's a little bit better experience, at least from my end, reading the chat rather than like the restream bot. And if it's cutting our bandwidth and we don't have enough to support both, I would rather focus on one platform rather than splitting our resources. And so also, if you join the Discord, all decks that TLSG makes videos on will be in the video deck list channel. And so even later on, we will have those decks there, and I use those as kind of like a database. So I have to delete my decks like daily to try out different combos. And so if I go back and I want to run the mill deck that I ran before, then I jump back in to the Discord. I can copy the code pretty easily, and then go from there. And then you stream full time, or is this a side job? If you don't mind me asking. So this is, I don't know that I would even call it a job. This is just a kind of I guess a hobby that I do. I have a full-time job working in data and analytics that takes up the majority of my time. But the daily videos is something that I started whenever I got access to Marvel Snap. and then the streams were something that was a little bit newer. But it is something that I enjoy doing. That way I can interact with you guys. I have a great time doing it. It's just finding the time. So we just do a lunch live stream during the weekdays, since I work remotely and I work from home. So I'm fortunate that I'm able to jump in and do those. All right, just one Patriot and it's GG. Yep, we get Patriot and we win. Yeah, so we have the Mystique or the Onslaught into the Mystique. We have another potential very, very high roll, but we have to destroy Grand Central with magic to make sure that we don't accidentally draw into Ultron here and tank our advantage. Plus, it gives us one extra turn to draw into the Patriot, or potentially draw into the Patriot here. And then let's see. Next turn draws Ultron. And so we will drop the magic. If we don't draw on a Patriot, we will go ahead. I think we just there it is. There it is. We started the stream extremely negative, but we are here for it now. We have the Patriot. We have Ultron. And so it is going to be rather large. I think regardless of their Iron Man or not, we should. Oh, man, and they had the Mr. Negative advantage. They didn't know that we had it. I would have rather had 8 cubes. That would have put us really close to neutral. We will take a win where we can get a win. We were going to have a pretty big left lane, right? Was that going to be the magic left lane? Pilk, I guess you have your cheats enabled now today. The other day when I was doing the Omega deck, I had mine where I was calling out the draws as they were coming. Today yours is engaged, Pilk. So if you need to do some climbing, definitely jump in. You can make all the right calls. You could have had Wong plus Gambit in this list, Jeremiah. I thought about it, and I mean, I don't think it'd be bad to potentially eliminate the White Tiger, because that would take one reveal for another, and I think you could get a higher upside from Gambit potentially. Stream snipe TLSG. Oh gosh, he snapped. Retreat instead. And if we get stream sniped, that's fine. I would rather have like real-time interaction with you guys, and we're not in like a hyper competitive environment right now. So if we lose cubes, if we end up -32, that's okay. I just have a good time being able to interact with you guys for the lunch live stream. I just mean that when you snapped, you looked like a Wong Exodia deck. Yeah, at that point we did, didn't we? So we have Patriot, we have Wong, we have our Forge. I think we go ahead and play Patriot into Nova Roma and then see what we draw into. We're not going to get the upside of being able to play the entire combo. Since we didn't get Project Pegasus, even if we draw into Onslaught, we're not going to have time to do an Onslaught and a Mystique and our Ultron potentially. So we will need to play some resources otherwise. Hey Ardref, how's it going? What do you recommend as an alternate to Wong? I don't know. I made a build before that used like Khazar, and it's suboptimal. So Wong is here as like a secondary win condition, so that we can drop Dr. Doom and push out quite a bit of power. And so Wong is, I'd almost want to say pretty essential to having multiple conditions. But if you lean into the Ultron side, maybe not absolutely necessary. So you could do something like Khazar to buff up your one cost cards, which your drones would be a little bit further. I don't think it's going to be optimal, but that could be a potential change. Is this a Wong game? I think we do Wong. We can do White Tiger, which will push double tokens to the left and right, because I don't think we're going to have time to draw into our other resources. Our shiny metal boy up there. Yeah, it's the flashbang. He's a shining star this patch. He is absolutely unstoppable. Ralph, I dropped from 72 to 64 today. Frustrating. What deck were you running, Ralph? And whenever I'm like trying to hyper climb, if I find that I'm losing a couple of 8 cube games in a row, a lot of times I need to kind of step back a little bit and maybe take a break, because I usually will start overreading my hand and I'll snap early and then end up losing more cubes than I gain. Jeremiah, if no Wong, then add Mr. Sinister. That'd be a decent add to get one additional token for your Patriot, yeah. And then with the Forge, you'll always have some upside. Oh yeah, with Brood and with Brood or with Mr. Sinister. Yeah, that's right. If you're going to keep Forge in here, which Forge I think for me is mainly in here because of Wong and because of that ability to trigger it 4, 8, 16 times. But otherwise, if you're going to keep it in, I think Mr. Sinister for sure would be a good add. I think we extend the game. Is there any, I mean, if we extend the game, we could potentially draw into Dr. Doom. And then if not, we can do a Forge and a Brood to push a decent amount of power here. We have a 50% chance to draw into our Dr. Doom, which I think would be the play that would push us the most power onto the board. You think Forge Brood instead? Hey Chris, how's the doggos today? So they're good. Someone said that Clarice looked a little bit sad in the background. She was staring out of the open window longingly, but otherwise they're good. We have one on the couch sleeping on her back. I think Forge plus Brood is better. So we can do the double Forge, and then we can do Brood here. Do we need more power in this right lane, though? We can do this. You have Misty and Wasp for the right lane. Oh, do we think we'll need more power in the right lane or the left? We'll give it a shot. Cassius, you need a dog cam or something. Keeping up with the 3 doggos would be a lot, but I do think you're right. One always tends to be in that back corner, just kind of hanging out, laying. That's one of their new favorite spots. I think it'd be pretty cool to at some point have like a doggo cam. Hey, Daddy Gaming, thank you so much. And I think that'll come through on the stream in just a second. But thank you for the pie. And so now that they extended, they know that they win Nova Roma. Thank you, Daddy Gaming Nightly. You're making sure that we eat today, so I get to enjoy some dessert for lunch. I appreciate it. The donation does mean a whole lot, and it helps kind of keep these streams and this content going. So I think our best bet is Ultron. I don't think we have another choice, but they could pretty easily stack some power. But the only downside is they won't be able to do an Iron Man or something into the Isle of Silence because they didn't change that location. So maybe we have a chance here. And so we will go ahead and lock that in. And if they decide to play, I think they're thinking it through right now. But while we're waiting, I thank you everyone just for being here and enjoying the stream with us today. They may end up roping, but I appreciate all of you that jump in. I know for some of you it's really late, so for some of you it's really early. But I appreciate all of you guys for jumping in, joining us, and just kind of hanging out. And Jeremiah, today you're taking over the reins and helping pinpoint some of our plays to make sure that we try to claw out of this negative downside that we have found ourselves in. So they do not have enough with the claw on Mr. Fantastic. That may have been a bot. That seems kind of like a bot-like play, but. Knowing that if they did the calculations, it wouldn't be enough to win the Isle of Silence. but we will take it. We are -6 for the day after starting off with like 5 losses in a row. And ever since then, it has been nothing but upside. Yeah, Jeremiah, I'm surprised they tried that. If it was a human player, that'd be definitely surprising. So I don't know. They didn't have any black and white variants, so I guess we won't know for sure. To TLSG, are you not sick of the snap music? No. Most of my videos, I don't have my sound on, so it's going through my headphones for most of my videos, and so I just play kind of in silence, honestly. And so just the streams that I have to hear them like for an hour a day, and then when I play on my phone, I do have the sound on. But no, I don't think I don't think I'm sick of it just yet. It's a good 4:40 p.m. currently, so that's a nice like pre-dinner stream for you then, Cassius. I muted the snap music. I get bored. So if you guys want, we can mute the snap music, and then I don't know if they're in here today, but one of the viewers, 543 Gaming, did send us a royalty-free playlist. I haven't checked all of it out, so I don't know how like high quality or good it would be, but it is something that we could do instead. Have some kind of music in the background. It'd be cool to see different boards or something at some point. Yeah, I think if they're looking for ways to push monetization, I think the additional boards, additional like premium emotes, different things that some other games have done and had success with, and I think would be a pretty good start. So we can do the Wong Mystique here, and that will allow us to do, if we draw into Forge, we can do Forge, which would be a huge push. If not, we can always do the 4 Dr. Doom tokens, and then have a decent amount of upside. I think we hold on to our Wasp and Misty Knight for now, though. Addy, you got Ronin. Nice. I had a hard time whenever I unlocked Ronin. It was very big zoo style meta. It was like in the peak prime of the Khazar Zoo, the strong guy. And so like I wasn't able to run Ronin in a lot of things. Slowly but surely, he's coming into kind of his own in certain situations. I don't think it's worth it to do the Onslaught. I don't think we need to extend the game for Onslaught here. I think we probably just pass on 5 as well, unless we get something like a White Tiger, which would push higher power tokens to the left and right. And so we will go ahead and skip now. Grandpa, or do it like Clash Royale, where each ladder rank is a different board. Yeah, they could do that as well. That would just kind of create... it'd create some cool, I guess, I don't know. It creates some variety. Right now it's the same board, the same music, the same pattern every single game. Wait, Pilk. Cassius, you said Pilk, that's a great idea. What'd you say? What if the board is based on the first location? So like yours at the moment, that would be amazing. That would end up, I mean, they would have to design quite a few though, because they did say that they have like 50 unreleased locations. Yeah, might as well play Forge, Jeremiah, and then maybe Dr. Doom to get the Forge bonus here. If not, we could always do like a Wasp. I don't know that we end up winning Muir Island regardless, and so we'll play that one by ear. But they did say that they have like something like 50-something unreleased locations currently. So I think that'd be hard for them to design the location, the functions with the location, and then on top of that, figuring out how to make a board look cool. And maybe they just do it for certain ones, just so it adds a little bit of spice here and there. But I think it'd be a cool start. +2 to the next card you play. Oh wait, did someone ask what Forge does? Oh, could I get a reminder what Forge does? Yeah, so it does +2 to the next card that you play, but with a Wong Mystique, that is going to trigger 4 times instead of once, and so it's going to be a +8 power to whatever we play next. And so you said they're going to play Spectrum, so we lose this lane for sure. That would be better. That would be better than, because we're going to lose Muir Island. We're not going to be able to compete for that one. And Wasp is going to be slightly higher than our Doombot tokens that get generated. I think that'll push a tiny bit of extra power onto the board. And it's a bot, so we're going to snap back. When you have Mystique, the combo is always broken. Yeah, the combo is always insane. But Cassius, yeah, that explains the Brood. Yeah, so if you can end up triggering your Forge like 8 times, then you drop it on a Brood, that's a 10 power Brood and 10 power, 2 10 power Broodling tokens, which are huge. And so I don't know what they played. It was Ant-Man and Colossus, right? Which was terrible. Easy positive cube gain today, guys. We have to end right here, right now, or else we won't be positive. So the deck, we're not really going to end, guys. Please don't leave, guys. We started off really poor. We had like 5 losses in a row. Started out, I think it was -10, maybe -12 at the peak. And now we are +2. So let's see if, yeah, we're going against the bots. I think 16 cubes were from bots today. And then Q actually has beaten us the last 3 times that they've matched up against us in a lunch live stream match. And so we may be in for a bumpy ride here today, guys. Q is Q is very much not a bot. What a beautiful top deck that we just got in the Onslaught. Damn, it's Q. I recognize them. Yeah, so they're in our Discord server, and I think we played them a couple of times this week. They are 3 for 3. So they're 3. We have won 0 against them. Hopefully they don't have a hard counter like an Enchantress, which would completely tank our deck. So they have an Electro, so maybe they're running like a large minion deck. Ugh, the Cosmo stops us from doing Mystique at least, but we can still do a Patriot. We won't be able to do Wong though. How rude! How rude, Cosmo. And we won't be able to do a late game Ultron. Oh yeah, do you hear the dog? So Q, if you're in the stream, that was a very mean thing that you just did. We can copy Onslaught onto a side lane. Do we copy it onto the right side? No. We need to do it on left. If we do it on right, then it won't turn, it won't reveal until after everything else. So it definitely has to be the left lane. Damn, that Cosmo, it was very bot-like, right? Very hard counter to our deck list. And so maybe Q techs in a couple of cards whenever we're doing a lunch live stream to make sure that they have a little bit of upside. And so yeah, like knowing that we had the Patriot deck, the Cosmo was huge. So I think I don't know, Christy, I don't know that they're stream sniping, but they do know that we were running a Patriot deck, and so now they play Goose on the left hand side, and we're just out of luck. I think maybe we play a token into mid just to have it. They're only going to be able to play a couple cards per turn. If we can spread out our power, maybe we can keep up with them with the Dr. Doom. And there's the Hobgoblin. Oh no. Oh, so this is how it ends. This is how the upside of our run ends, isn't it? We could do Forge Brood. That would give us a decent power here. A decent-ish power, right? Actually, I don't want to. It may not be a stream snipe. It may just be that they were able to see that we played Mystique. They know that we need to put the rest of our resources there. I don't know that that absolutely means stream snipe. It does definitely hard counter us though. And then and here comes the leech. Oh no! Why did they have to be? Why'd they have to be a bot? We can't even extend the game now. We can't. I think he just has a lot of good counters to our deck. I don't think it's necessarily a stream snipe, but oh man. And so I mean, they may be playing the leech for the turn one. Dr. Doom won't push anything from mid. Oh, I guess it won't push anything regardless, right? Only thing I can see is 5 power mid. Oh no. Yeah, and Electro is always like this. So the leech is huge with Pegasus right now, or even with just dropping Electro normally on 3. That allows you to do leech on 4, which can hit a lot of your high power cards. It's more good counters in general. Yeah, and it's like the placement may be influenced by seeing the onslaught, that sort of thing, but just the Electro deck in general. So I assume that they play a card here. We can win Dark Dimension. I I doubt we win, but we'll let Q have their moment in the sunlight. Ooh, the Destroyer comes in, but it doesn't trigger, so we don't win this lane. Yep. They have a Green Goblin in Dark Dimension. Oh boy. And so that does take us from a Mr. Positive to a Mr. Neutral stream. And so we'll go ahead and give them the thumbs up back, and then we will move on to hopefully bigger and better things. Not that Q's not bigger and better, just into games that we have a chance to win. So very good game, Quara. It was definitely a very good game. Yeah, and so definitely hard count. Hard countered at every turn. And then Doko, I think, is a bot, so maybe we have a chance to win our cubes back here. Jeremiah, so you said you've been running something like it. So something like the Electro ramp. So I've always felt like you need a good turn 5 play if you're going to hit Electro on 3. And I think Leech is probably really, really good, especially right now with how many people are running like high minions for Pegasus or ongoing abilities. You can really disrupt a lot of things. If you hit Hela, then all of a sudden that tanks a lot of their deck. Just a lot of pretty good upside from Leech if you can trigger it early. Just countered a Hobgoblin with Zola. Oh yes, Wakeless. I've done that a handful of times. Hey Cassius, thank you so much for jumping in and joining us. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I appreciate you jumping in and joining us for what you could see. You just countered a Hobgoblin. That's so satisfying, because then you send 2 Hobgoblins back their way. You're right. It is so very satisfying when it works. But it's very, very inconsistent. It's very situational. But if you have those cards to counter it, it's beautiful. My Electro deck is just 6-drop garbage with Jubilee and Wave. That's kind of what I had put together for, and I don't know that we're even going to get Luke's Bar anymore. But I had put together like 4 decks thinking that the featured location this week was Luke's Bar. And Electro was in one of them, because you could drop Electro, he would bounce back to your hand, so you would get the upside of the additional energy, and you could then redrop him pretty much perpetually until the very end of the game, to get some really, really large amounts of energy to do some really big plays towards the end. But unfortunately, I guess Project Pegasus has been fun. It wasn't what I was thinking. I think I'm going to pass on turn 4 as well. And they morphed into our Dr. Doom, right? That was a morph? It was a super long shot because there was a full board at mid. Yeah, so it turns into like a 1 in 3 chance. And so but you did hit the upside, and that's all it takes is one lucky pull sometimes. Yeah, Pilk. It had to be a morph. There wasn't any way for them to have that much energy otherwise. I think we do both Mystique and Patriot here. We can always drop Wasp for free. This is going to buff up our Raptors. If we draw into Onslaught, we can elevate this boost a little bit, and we can always drop Dr. Doom in the left lane. That's where his advantage comes in a little bit compared to Ultron, is that he'll add them to the other locations regardless. It doesn't have to be that we drop him in mid. So if we need to shift locations because of a Savage Land, we have that flexibility. And so they do drop a Sunspot. We are neutral, so we need this win to stay positive. We only have time for a couple more games. I was trying Electro Viper. Yeah, I like Electro Viper in theory, but without being able to drop them both in the same turn, you end up losing one of your potentially high impactful turns to drop Viper. So a lot of times it seems like you lose tempo, even though you clog them up. Depending on the deck, it could be effective. So if it's a Mr. Negative deck and you send them Viper on 5 before they can really flood the board, then it could be a pretty good tech. Do we extend the game with Magic, or do we do something like White Tiger to push power out into the side? We pretty much give up this lane. And I think we have a decent shot of these other two. Tiger on the left. Hey, Jeremiah. I'm glad we came to the same conclusion for once. Don't extend the game, it's negative. Yeah, because that would give them more time to draw into their inverted Iron Man. And if we don't, I assume that they will extend the game. Ooh, they don't need more time to draw into their inverted Iron Man, do they? Oh, so rough. Okay.
I am Iron Man.
So how do we win from here? I don't know that we can. Competing against a double Iron Man is very, very tough. We can definitely win Savage Land, but I don't know that we win the Crimson Cosmos. Dr. Doom would push, what would that be, a 9 power token here. That would be 14, and then another, oh, we can't play that one there. Yep, no, this looks like a retreat. We're going back into the negative. I don't see any way, and even if we do like Dr. Doom like in one of the other lanes, so the token gets the buff on the left, I don't know that that's enough to beat. I think if we stick it out, that's definitely the play line, because that would put 9 power here, but that just that would be them not dropping any resources now. That would push us over what they have now, but it's not a good chance at winning. It would just be our only potential chance, and even that would be pretty small. So we are going to take the 1 cube loss versus the 4. We will jump into maybe 1 or 2 more games here, guys, before we do have to jet back off and go back to lunch. Yeah, and so I on stream and in my videos, I don't retreat as often. A lot of times I will let it play out to the end, just to kind of see if my call was right, see if the power level that I was assuming was right. But whenever I'm playing to climb, I definitely retreat a lot more than what I do in streams and videos, just because I am trying to. At that point, I'm actually trying to climb. Wakeless Sleeper. I've been stuck at around 70, and the pain of losing cubes is real. Yeah, the pain of losing them is tough, especially when you're trying to climb. But losing 1 versus 4 or even 8 is a huge difference, and it can help you. It can help you mitigate those losses when you can. So, do I want to do Wong this game, or do we go ahead and play out the Patriot and the Mystique? I mean, knowing what we know, we could do the Wong and Mystique. And then we could always do Brood if we drew into Forge, but I think that would become an issue of winning one of the other lanes. So we are going to go with the potential like Ultron play here. Tough. Wasp is only used in Lockjaw decks. Lockjaw and Patriot decks. just for the extra token onto the board. And so it doesn't see a whole lot of play. That morph was insanely lucky. Sometimes they do get lucky. So we do have the Forge here. So maybe it would have been better to do the 4 times trigger Wong into the Brood, but I think we'll still get upside out of Forge regardless. But I don't think we need to force it just yet. I want to wait at least one turn to see what we draw into. It's also used in Thor decks because it can pull it and thin the deck out. Yeah, but in a lot of Thor decks, if it's just flat Thor, I think a lot of them do run Lockjaw still. That way they can cycle a little bit easier. So now we will have the Onslaught, so our tokens are going to be pretty big. Do we go ahead and play a Forge and a Brood? I guess not the Brood this turn. We can do both of those next turn if we need to. We don't need to do it this turn. We can wait and see what we draw into. But I think that's probably going to be our best play line, is to drop the Brood. That'll let us drop some resources into Shadowland as well. And I guess unless we draw into like a really high roll play, that's probably going to be the best pathing for us. Oh, you can't play Brood on left because it's the 3 cost. You're right. But we could do... Well, that makes it a little bit tough for us to push things outside of like a Dr. Doom or a Patriot. So we do get the Dr. Doom. Maybe we do Wong here. We do Wong. That'll allow 2 triggers over here, 2 triggers here, and then we have the kicker of the Wasp as well. And I guess if we draw into... No. I think that's going to be our best shot at pushing a decent power into the Crimson Cosmos as well as Shadowland. How long did it take for you to get Lockjaw? The card seems fun to use. So I got it pretty. No, I got it pretty late actually in Pool 3. So it was like midway through, probably in the mid 2000s for me. But then on our free-to-play account, I got it as one of the first like 3 or 4 Pool 3 pulls. And so it really depends. It varies by quite a bit. So this is going to be 18 power. Do we need more power here or do we need more power here? I think if we need more power, you recommend retreating? Jeremiah, did you notice something that I missed? I mean, I guess they could have an Iron Man for the left lane, right? Do you think they'll... They could put... Hey, what is it? It's okay. Girls. Magneto, Iron Man, mini things. Do you think they pivot though, knowing that it's difficult? Hey, that it's difficult for us to claim 10 power. I'm gonna let it play out. I think you're probably right. I think we end up losing, but we'll let it play out. We will put the Wasp on the left-hand side for the kicker though. Stream Doggo is too good. Is good too. Hey. It's okay. There's nothing there. Ooh, so we do come up over it just barely, right? You're the goodest of doggos. Hey, Clarice. Okay, guys. I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what they're so worked up about. That is right at an hour, anyways. So we were gonna need to end after 1 or 2 more, anyways. But I think they need a little bit of attention. So we did get lucky with the stay here that it was just a Chavez and not something a little bit bigger. But we could have easily lost that. Jeremiah was right. We could have ended up tanking that, and there were several outs that they had. But anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the live stream. We did end on a positive note. It wasn't as positive as yesterday, but 2 positive lunch live streams in a row, and with an Ultron deck nonetheless. But thank you guys so much for joining us for the lunch live stream. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I am going to go ahead and end it here so that I can figure out what's going on with the doggos, and then I will see you either in the next video, or in the next lunch live stream.